point Michael Kugelman into it. Michael, do you also see Quad overshadowing what we are seeing at the moment between the two leaders? Can we separate the two? Will Quad focus on strategic issues on China, on Indo-Pacific, while here, as you saw in those introductory remarks, a lot of talk on climate change, on trade, on just the sheer shared values that the two countries claim they will take this relationship forward? Do you believe, therefore, that this relationship will be completely independent of what happens at the Quad, where China could well be the focus?
No, the U.S.-India relationship can function on its own, separate from the Quad, though certainly the Quad boosts the U.S.-India relationship. But as you know, the U.S.-India relationship is very safe and very stable for both sides. It enjoys bipartisan support in both countries. It can withstand the invariable tensions that come up just because there are such clearly convergent interests on both sides. And there have been a number of major shocks to the world order since Prime Minister Modi had his last meeting with the U.S. president, which was President Trump. We have this pandemic. We have the withdrawal of U.S. forces from Afghanistan. We had the Ladakh clash last summer between Indian and Chinese forces. But all of that has kept the U.S.-India relationship in a very strong place. And in fact, in the case of the pandemic and in India's growing tensions with China, that has brought even more benefits to the U.S.-India relationship. It's accentuated pathways for cooperation. But certainly the Quad is very important just because, it's the first in-person leaders meeting. The Quad has been revitalized. The U.S.-India relationship has been going strong for nearly 2 decades. So the fact that the Quad has really come back from the dead, so to speak, it had become irrelevant for nearly 2 decades after some initial successes in 2004 and 2005. The fact that it is back and India is sitting at the same table with 3 key Pacific powers, that's really important, and that's very consequential. And I think that we're at a point now where we could assume that the momentum that the Quad has been enjoying will be sustained just because all 4 Quad countries have seen their relations with China sink to levels not seen in quite some time. And for all we talk about the partnerships on issues like climate change and technology within the Quad, the China factor looms large in a big way in the Quad, and that is a big reason why the Quad has been able to be revitalized over the last few years.
But there are concerns. Both leaders